I lost over 40 pounds my last year of college, but after I graduated, I almost threw it all away. Not because I was lazy or undisciplined, but simply because my environment changed overnight and the things that worked for me in college simply didn't translate. And I see this with so many guys I talk to in their early 20s. They were doing fine during college, but as soon as they graduate, they start putting on weight and have no idea what they're doing wrong. So in this video, I'm going to break down the simple eating system I recommend to everyone post-graduation. It works around a full-time schedule and you don't have to count a single calorie to make it work. But before I jump into the system, I want to explain why so many people struggle with post-grad eating. And it's not a mystery. In college, your life had a structure to it. You had classes that you had to go to, you had a certain time to go to the dining hall, and everything was pretty much blocked out in a 30 to 45 minute period. And even if your diet wasn't great, I know mine certainly wasn't, you had a rough idea of how much food was actually coming in. Now compare that to your life post-graduation. You're most likely sitting at a desk from 9 to 5, and if you wake up late, you don't even have a chance to eat breakfast. By the time you get home at 6 or 7, you're starving and kind of just eat whatever's easiest. And the thing is, that pattern might not look like a big deal in the moment, but if you do it every day, 5 days a week for 6 months straight, that's when the weight starts to creep on and you start looking around wondering what happened. And let me be clear, your issue isn't a lack of willpower. Your issue lies in the fact that you don't have a system designed specifically around the life that you're currently living. So that's what I hope to give you today. The foundation of this entire system is something I like to call anchored eating. Essentially, all that means is instead of eating when you're hungry or maybe you just feel like it, you attach your meals to certain points of the day and condense them into 2 meals and 2 snacks. You should have your first meal in the morning. It doesn't have to be some big elaborate breakfast, but before you go to work or maybe within the first hour of your day, you should have at least 25 to 30 grams of protein. I recommend things like Greek yogurt. You can do bacon and eggs. Pretty much anything with eggs is a great option for breakfast. Now your snack should land somewhere in the middle of the day. It doesn't have to be something huge. You can go with like some fruit, a protein bar, or maybe some peanut butters and crackers. It just has to hold you over until you get home for your big meal. Now your second meal is the big dinner that you eat in the evening. So once you get home from work and you're starving, have a real solid meal. This should be at least 50 grams of protein. You can order it, you can cook it, do whatever, but it needs to be a solid meal that will keep you full until the next morning. This works so well because when you anchor your diet to 2 meals and 1 or 2 snacks a day, this makes it so much easier to stay inside a deficit and hit your protein goal. When you're only eating 2 snacks and 2 meals, it makes it really difficult to go over your calories. Now moving on to part 2 of the system, we're going to talk about when things eventually break down, because they will. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be able to follow this diet every single day. So here's exactly what to do when things go off track. So one of the biggest reasons why I see people gain weight post-graduation is because they're stress eating after work. And it makes complete sense. When it's 9 or 10 p.m., you're mentally and physically exhausted. So you kind of just look around and want to eat whatever. The best way to combat this is have your last snack at around 8:30 p.m. as this will keep you full for the whole night and you won't be hungry until the morning. Also, if you're eating at like a work event or socially with friends, just try to get something high protein. But honestly, it's not going to be that big of a deal if you go off your diet for 1 meal. 1 meal out of your entire week really isn't going to make or break your physique. The only thing that matters is that you get back on track after that meal and get back to your program. Now, when it comes to the system, one of the biggest things I tell my clients is this can't just be another diet for you. This has to be your new default. This can't be something that you just try for 3 or 4 weeks, get some decent results, and then just go back to how you're eating. Ideally, this should be how you're eating for probably the rest of your life. There's a massive difference between telling someone, oh, I'm trying to eat a little better, I'm trying this diet, and being like, oh yeah, this is how I eat. This is what I do. I have 2 meals and 2 snacks every day. Once you make that your default, it's going to be so much easier to stay on track, and subconsciously, you're just going to start gravitating to that approach. And I know that can sound a little bit extreme, but think about it. When this becomes your new default, you don't have to make a decision on how you're going to eat every day. And that alleviates so much stress and pressure from your mind. And just so you know, this shift isn't going to happen overnight. You have to completely rewire your brain on how you've been eating. But I promise you, it is 100% worth it. Because once you have a default and you have a diet that you can stick to no matter what, it makes hitting your goals a million times easier. So just give it 30 days. If it doesn't work after 30 days, just come back to this video, tell me I'm an idiot, do whatever. I don't really care. But I promise you, it's going to work. This is the best method you can do post-graduation to get your diet under control. Now, if you want to go deeper on this, I created a free guide that has literally everything I know about eating post-graduation. It's called the Post-Grad Protocol, and I'm giving it to you for completely free. Click the link in my bio, and you'll be able to access pretty much everything that you should ever need to know about eating post-graduation. So if this video helped you at all, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe. I try to put out these videos at least once a week for you guys, and I'm going to be coming out with some really good, consistent content. But aside from that, thank you for watching, and God bless.